Thank you, and welcome to this meeting on Monday, June 21st. We will start with public comment. If all we ask is that you be respectful of our time. So do we have anyone here for public comment? Yes, ma'am, you can approach the podium.
I'm Candy Storms from Pickard, Indiana, and I was asked to come in to go over with you the county tile in that area. Back in 2017, Dan Cheese and I started discussing this, and in 2019, I put in a formal request, and then it was subsequently approved and money was allocated for it, but it's still not been done.
Okay. Well, I mean,
you
both
think-
of us
I
are
would-
new, so I can't say that I know anything other than when Dan told us at Drainage Board about the issue, but I'm unaware about the approval.
Board issue.
And I believe it may be more of a Drainage Board issue. So should we probably address it in that meeting?
I was sent an email saying that the commissioners
we-
wanted to talk to me.
She did, she was sending an email on that. But I don't know what we can do. I mean, Dan has all the maps of the tiles. I don't think there's a tile that runs up or it's a problem.
Yeah, there's a county tile that runs to the ditch.
Well, they haven't been able to locate it from what, as far up on the map as it shows where it goes. It
Yeah,
stops.
and there's a farmer in that area that owns that property that the tile goes through. And he's told multiple times where the actual tile is, and his family's owned that for generations. And no one will listen to him as to where the tile actually runs.
Well, I think probably our best option would be, and I hate to do this to you, but we have a Drainage Board meeting at 11. If we come back and discuss then, because then Dan will be here and he
Okay.
can provide information. I mean, we're just new, we're so new that this issue started well before us that we don't have all the information, and obviously Dan does, so
Right.
he'll be able to do that. So I hate to
Yeah, that's fine.
have you come here and give you the opportunity to speak and then tell you that, you need to wait 2 hours. But I think for us to have a good conversation about it, we need to wait till Dan's here. So our Drainage Board meeting will start at 11 a.m.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to Mrs. Beth Keeney with Docs Pop Agreement.
Good morning,
Morning,
everyone.
Beth.
Last April, we kind of got forced to put our documents online. It was clearly the community and the county needed the land records. And when our situation kind of went bad to where we thought we might have to close it sometime. So we have some documents on, as far back as we are, 2003, are online. And so we sell quite a few copies during the week to people that get on that service and search DocsPop. So we have people that come in or call, and just a few, and they're concerned that their property is going to get sold out from underneath them. You hear it on the radio, you've seen it on TV, and they're all worried. I think we have a really great system in place, but I understand too that there's some people are very crafty and they can come up with better ways or more way to kind of cheat somebody or to do some fraud. And I know it does happen in some other counties. But I wanted to offer this service to them. It's for free. DocsPops has an addendum that you can add to their agreement that we signed last April, where people can go on and sign up for fraud alert, and then anything that happens to their property that we have indexed in, that they will get that notice. Now, one of the county recorders mentioned that if you're in a section, it's going to give you everything that happens in that section. So a lot of acres there. But if you're just in John Pence's Lot 13 here in Frankfort, it's just going to be very limited, and that would be easy but you will get a notice, even if like your mortgage gets released, you will get a notice of that. So if you sign up for
Yep.
the emails. So this is what I'm requesting. I think
Okay.
we could go ahead and do that.
You say it's free included in what we
Yes.
do now?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and add that.
I will second it. Carries
And,
two.
and free to the taxpayers as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So
All
thank you,
right.
Beth. Next up is Renee Crick with the Motorola proposal. Good morning, Renee.
So I emailed you last week our official proposal on upgrading all of our radio equipment and dispatch. So it was installed in 2010, so it is at the end of life. And so this is nothing, it's needed. It is needed to upgrade us to what is necessary to move us forward for the next several years. Currently, we are on the MCC 5500, and then this will take us to the MCC 7500E. It does replace all of our equipment in dispatch, and it's much like the sheriff's office has been replacing their radios as they were at end of life, and of course, like I said, ours is at the end of life as well. So this will take us for our 4 dispatch positions. In this, it also does include a 2 dispatch position at the new Frankfort Police when that is built, to give us a backup, because we currently do not have a backup, and that is very necessary in this day and age. That will kind of be on hold until they are able to build.
That might
As that's
help
kind
if
of,
we
they had a
a
little,
building, right?
yeah. So, but I did check, I have 2 representatives here from Motorola and Raycom as well with me today. So, but I did double check, and we will be okay with that. To still include those, it will just be ready when the building is ready
Okay.
as well. On this, I did ask for a leasing option. And so the total amount is $576,843 with a down payment of 25%, and then I would finance $432,633 over 5 years. During all of this contract, we will continue to get any software updates as things move forward. So at the end of our contract, we will still have the latest and greatest and all of the updates that have come out during our contracts.
At the end of the 5 years, will we own the equipment at that point? Okay. And then is the salvage life still
Oh,
10 years, or will it be longer with this equipment?
So that is one of the advantages with our new systems these days. So as you go along, if you look with the services on it, the systems used to, we implemented them, like Renee had mentioned, 10 years.
Yeah.
You've got a 10-year-old system. So as you move forward nowadays, we actually bring the software up with security and things like that. If one of the devices actually goes obsolete or end of life, we'll replace it. So at the end of your guys' payment, contract, service agreement, you've got a brand new system now.
Okay.
So in theory, you can turn around in about 10 years with it, not having concerns.
All right, that makes sense to me. What's the plan for the old equipment?
The old, it's end of life.
It's just
so,
obsolete
yes,
now?
I don't know,
No more parts
no more
issues.
parts.
Failure, there's about a 50% chance we may not be able to get it back up online. So that's kind of why we've started the discussions, started moving forward. We started, what,
We-
about 3 years ago discussing?
Yes, we knew this day was coming, so we've kind of been on and off, and then we really are at that end of life as well. And then it's about a 6-month, so if with your approval today, if we can sign everything and get that approval, it's about a 6-month process to get everything ordered, get things in place. So we're still looking at, the beginning of next
Yeah.
year, to start getting this implemented. But this is the first process of getting this.
You've checked, and this is what the
This
equipment
is-
that you think?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and start the process of buying new equipment.
I will second. Carries 2-0.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Then, if you want me to wait till later, or while I'm up here,
Go ahead.
I wanted to discuss the antenna.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So as you all know, we've been working since the antenna had to come down off of the water tower due to that issue with them doing work on it. And I think I emailed you last week. So after the last commissioner meeting, I was actually talking to Deputy Chief Jim Skinner. And, I mean, kudos to Jim, I say that honestly. He said, what about the antenna at the jail? And I'm just like, I look at that every day. It's literally become scenery. I had not even thought of that. I mean, I had been moving forward with looking at building an actual tower at the new police department. You know, the city had said we could do an interlocal agreement and we could build a tower at the back of their lot. So obviously this could get us there much quicker. You know, I say cheaper, nothing's cheap. But we started moving forward with that. So we did find out the antenna that's currently at the jail, that's located there on the west side of the building, is actually 180 feet, which is taller than the water tower. On last, I believe it was Monday, Jim from Raycom came to look at the tower to make sure, you know, it's structurally sound. The sheriff came down, Terry Ritchie, the maintenance came down as well. We had a lot of good discussion. Definitely, it is our best option. I'm thrilled that we can move forward with this, hopefully after today. I did ask Jim, I needed some maps. I needed to know that even though we're maybe like a half a mile from there, we can't lose coverage than what, you know, I mean, yes, this is critical, but we can't, you know, go backwards on this at all, just because it's just critical. I needed to do our due diligence, so I asked Jim to get some maps together, and I have given you those maps. It actually looks like we will actually get a little better coverage. So if you look at the one, I think the front one is the water tower. It's kind of hard to see. You see
Yeah.
a W there.
Yeah,
And then compared to the second one, and that's the one at the jail. So green is, you know, that is the best coverage. And then, of course, as you move further away, the yellow, and then obviously the red.
Okay.
You know, the Frankfurt site does not cover all of Clinton County. You know, we still have the Geetingsville Tower, you know, that is still very strong and covers a large portion. If you're in the southern part of the county, depending on where you're at, you may hit, you know, the Thorntown Tower, like people at Perry Township Fire may hit that. We have one over, I can't remember if it's in Hamilton or Boone, the Horton Tower, Hortonville. So a lot of, you know, the Kirkland area will hit a lot of those. But I just think this is our best option. I feel like, you know, I needed to have these maps
Sure.
to say I
We
did my due
appreciate that.
diligence, like, to make sure. I think this is our best option. Jim with Raycom put together the quote for me. He believes it is a little high. It's at $42,830.20. He was unable to get into the building that's located under our water tower to get a little bit better on the electrical side of things. So along with this, you know, we thought originally our building that's underneath the water tower was going to have to be moved. They will actually remove our racks from inside the building. We are able to, with the sheriff and maintenance, we are able to move the racks inside the jail, which is going to be the best option. So we will move those inside the building. We already have a lot of phone lines back there and a little bit of radio equipment, so it's going to be a perfect room for that. We also have a generator that's out at our water tower site. We will not need to utilize it because we will be able to connect to the generator that's already on site for the jail. So I know, you know, the county, we already own that generator, so it sounds like there may be some other options for that to go somewhere else in the county for that. Raycom also is interested in purchasing the building, so at some point, probably with you and Tom, I don't know how we would need to do that once it's empty, but they are interested in being able to purchase the building and move it off of that property, and because we won't have any use for it.
Yeah.
As well. So I am asking permission to go ahead. I do have this money in my 911 fund, and I'm asking permission to go ahead and move this project forward, and hopefully we can get the antenna up sooner rather than later and get us back in full operation.
Do we have time frame?
I do not. Jim has to order things. I hate to
So that
say.
tells me,
I think,
it'll
no,
be
but
delayed
I
a
don't
little
think
bit.
it's going to be, I'm anticipating sooner rather than later.
Okay.
So.
There's a few specialty items that we would need to move that, but for the most part, with the industry, it's kind of moving forward again, more consistent. We're seeing about a week, 2 weeks away on those stuff like that, so. Should be able to, logistics wise, as long as everything's actually done.
Okay. Well, that sounds.
The other thing, we have to wait, the state, so the connectivity between the state system that we are on and out at the site is with a T1, that's how it's connected, and so, and that makes me nervous, as we know, I talked to Tim.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, we-
with what's going on up here with the
Yeah.
T1. So, but the state, when I talked to them, they didn't mention any issues, and I'm sure they would be well aware. But the T1, the state will have to take care of moving the T1 connectivity from the site to the jail. So I'm thrilled, like, beyond thrilled that we can probably move forward. I hope with your blessing to move forward with this, because it's critical. And we don't have to worry about, unless something happens or we move from the jail or weather takes it down,
Yeah,
we're not going to have an issue like we did with the water tower.
I think it's a good option. I think, it's coming in a little more than maybe even what we expected if we had to do the whole new one.
If
So
we
that-
had to, it was going to be
Yeah.
so much more. If we had to actually build a tower, it was going to be considerably more.
And it's on property we own, so now we
Correct.
don't have to do it interlocal. And, I mean,
Yes.
it just seems like it's gonna be a much smoother transaction for us, so.
Yes.
Renee, I'm all for the tower, but did you say you had it structurally checked? Because the tower's
Yes.
like 30 years old.
Yes,
It's not gonna
yes.
have to come down and,
No, they've checked that, as well as the company. So Raycom was there, and then the company who, they are included in this quote. So it's the company that actually removed the antenna for us from the water tower. That is who Raycom works with.
I just want to make sure the
No.
tower was there
Yes.
for another 30 or 40
Yes.
years.
We are gonna have to do some relocation of a few
Mm-hmm.
antennas due to wind loading, just like you mentioned
Yeah.
structurally, that way we don't damage the tower or anything
Yeah.
like that as time goes on.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to go ahead and start the process of moving the antenna to the sheriff's department.
Go yes as well, 2-0.
Okay, thank you.
Does this one need a signature anywhere?
No, it
Okay,
does
all
not,
right,
no.
just a quote,
Okay.
And
Okay. Thank you. Do you have anything else for me?
I do not. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you.
Next up is Rick Campbell with a highway update. Rick? Good morning.
Guys have been working on 50 and 730 East. They got tore up when they closed the railroad tracks, so they've been wedging that road, those two roads. And we've been working on our budget, and I was wanting to include a couple maintainers, new maintainers in our budget, replace the two we got. And also, our grader lease is gonna be up in October. And I didn't realize that, and we have two graders, we want to trade the old one in. We'll trade the old one in, we get two new graders, and the old one should pay for two new graders the first year, what we're thinking. And the CAT guy never got back with me in time on that, but I wanted to ask you guys if it was okay to do that and get two maintainers. The maintainers are, they're 35,000 apiece.
Okay.
And two of them 65,000. So,
Well, you know what you need better than we do. Will we be leasing the two graders,
we'll be leasing the two graders.
same as we did the first one?
Yeah, we'll get two brand new graders. We'll trade the two in and get two new graders. And like I said, the one we own, what happened the last time, the one that we own should pay for the lease the first year. So,
Yeah, I'll just have them get that paperwork together so we can
yeah, I
review
just
it.
wanted to, because I was trying to get the budget together. I was trying to put it in the budget.
I'm okay with it if,
Yeah.
you know what you need.
Yeah, they're time to be updated.
And also the community crossings grant money, we've decided we wanted to go with Central Paving. If it's okay with you guys,
Okay.
and wait for them to sign the contract, and then I'll bring it to you guys to sign.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll get into that here in
There.
a couple more rounds.
Pretty much all I had.
Only thing I had was, and I think all of us have fielded many calls about 800 North and the complaints of vehicles up there, just from 26 being closed.
Right,
I noticed we had some no truck signs,
right.
and we've had requests for more of those, which I don't think
Right.
is a great idea because I mean, there's no reason to put it out in the middle of 800. Once the truck starts to go down it, I mean,
Right.
he's ultimately gonna finish his route till he gets to
Right.
39. But I didn't know if we could put some speed limit signs up. I did not see any on 800, when I did my kind of pass by there the other day.
Okay, well, there's some slow signs up there where those houses are.
Yeah, I saw the slow around the houses, so, I mean, I just think if we can try to appease our citizens a little bit up there, and I'm sure it is a heavy traffic. I went on the weekend, so it wasn't too bad, but obviously, I know all of us have gotten many calls about the issues going on up there.
As soon as Central Paving gets this contractor supposed to come, the way I understand it, they're supposed to come the 1st of July and start paving that.
Okay,
They want to start with that one.
Well,
So I'll get some
26.
speed limit signs up.
When will 26 be back open?
Who knows? I have no idea.
So they'll just use 700 instead of 800?
Right,
and I think the detour actually goes north, not
right.
to 800. I mean,
Right, it
and that's
does.
our challenge. People want us to limit it, but we can't, there's not a lot to do if people won't follow the detour
Right.
at the end of the day. So, and human nature is to find the shortcut, and I think that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, maybe, obviously, I didn't know when we were starting the paving project, so.
Yeah.
But some level, maybe after that, some speed limit signs for them.
What kind of speed limit you want?
I don't think it's gonna matter. I mean,
Well,
we
I
got slow
don't
signs
think it
and-
is either, but I think if we can at least post something, then it potentially will help things out a little bit.
Okay.
I believe it would be 55 through there, correct, Sheriff?
It's 55
If
once it's marked.
Okay,
And then, little can tell you, it's a lot of study and a lot of
Yeah.
paperwork to change that speed limit.
so,
There'll be some more enforcement up there.
Just 55?
yep, so,
All right, that's all I have today.
okay. Thank you, Rick. Next up is Liz Stitzel in an area plan update.
I'm short and easy today. I don't have a whole lot. I'd submitted the information you'd requested on mowing. I think last time you took out under advisement. Obviously, Josh isn't here today, so if you don't have anything for me, I won't delay your meeting
Okay.
any further.
You have anything, Mark? Nope. Yeah, we'll, once Josh gets back from vacation, we'll discuss our mowing a little bit, in a little bit more depth and make a decision at that point, so,
Not a problem.
all right.
Hope you have a good morning. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, we will move on to old business, and first up is the awarding of the 2021 road resurfacing bid. This would be for the Community Crossings Grant, and as Rick just gave us an update, the recommendation from County Highway was to go with Central Paving. I believe, just for the record, so there's two options. We get a virgin option, and then there's also a recycled, right, Rick? Am I explaining this correctly? And the recycled option is what the state specifies. The virgin option is above and beyond, and that's what we've been doing in our county. And I think that's important to note, because we do field some complaints on our roads, but we're trying to do everything that we can to go above and beyond to make them as the best as possible. So we're going beyond what the state specs are. Central Paving's bid for the combined two projects, 800 north from State Road 39 to State Road 75, and then 1100 east from State Road 28 to County Road 400 south, was $1,391,418.56. And that was the lowest bid of the 6 bids, so 7 bids, I apologize. So I guess I would entertain a motion to
I'll
approve
make
that.
a motion to approve Central Paving for the Crossings Grant.
I will second that. That motion carries 2-0 to award it to Central Paving. Next up, we had 2 quotes for signs to update the signage here in the courthouse that Brett Barton had graciously pointed out to us needed a facelift, and so we have one quote from Longhorn Marketing, and it was $4,500, and a second quote from Express Print, which was $3,727.15. So I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to go with Express Print on the signage.
I will second that. 2-0, and so now we will hopefully get some more aesthetically pleasing signs here in the courthouse. So thank you for pointing that out for us, Brett. Did have one other thing under old business. At our last meeting, we had decided to move forward with Gibson in upgrading our phone line service. And Tim, you may have to jump in here in a minute, but they're working with Windstream, which will be handling the service, correct? And so we signed a contract with both Gibson and Windstream for to upgrade our phone system. So I don't think we need a motion since we approved it last meeting, but I did want to make note of that going into today. That we'll go to new business. The only thing I have under that is for the Eastside EMS. We've been working to get fiber out there to have communication for our workers, and so the Frankfort Municipal Utilities had given us a quote. It's going to be roughly $16,000 to get fiber to the Eastside EMS building, which I believe is much warranted. That we have to have some level of good connectivity to the internet out there, and for those that live in that side of the county, it is a struggle. There's just not a lot of good options. So I believe we're coming off of 28, and why the quote is a little more expensive is we have to bore under 28 to get across the road to EMS. Does that sound correct? Okay.
Actually, it's the whole length, 29,
Oh.
1,900 feet.
Okay, 1,900 feet, so I stand corrected. So that's why it's a little bit more on the expensive side, but then after that, it will go to a $75 monthly charge. So I think it's a good investment for that facility.
Is there anyone else wanting to pick up out there off that fiber?
I'm sure there probably will be, but that would probably go under Frankfort Utilities. And I think they're working on that, but for our portion, it's this.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the fiber.
I will second the fiber contract with Frankfort Municipal Utilities. I have it, Jared. We can print it off after to sign it. So, next up is department reports. Do we have any department heads that have anything to report?
I have a couple
Sheriff?
things.
Yeah.
Bring commissioners up to speed. Recently, after the approval of getting the freezer replaced at the walk-in freezer, that work has been completed. If you watched the last week, they had cranes and equipment up there. They took everything out. Everything went perfect. Got that replaced. The padded cells are set to be replaced in the next 2 weeks. They were on that logistical end, getting material, things like that put in, but they'll come in, tear it out, and it'll take about 2 to 3 days for everything to set up once they get everything placed. So feel free to stop by, take a look at them, and I'll try and let you know when they get there. I'll check with Terry and see when that appointment is. The hiring process for the 3 positions that are open, fantastic turnout. We had 25 applicants. Out of the 25, after the 2 days of physical testing, I think we're at 18 right now that'll go and move forward into background and the other portions of the testing and background, to become a merit deputy. So it's a great thing. We had 7 lateral police officers that are already been through the academy, from IU to IU Bloomington to, some of the surrounding counties. So people are seeing the good things that are in this county, and they're coming here to work. So with that, it's very nice to see that kind of turnout, especially in this day and age in law enforcement.
Yeah.
We're pretty blessed to have that many people. So vehicle-wise, we got a notification from Fort Wayne, Kelly Automotive Group, that we'll receive a group in August of vehicles and a group later in August, maybe the first week of September, which will fulfill that 9 that was initially, I think 8 was initially ordered, then we added 1 for the deputy's car that got crashed. So with that, looks good. I mean, it seems like a long time, and it has been a long time, but I mean, just knowing that they're going to be delivered, we'll get some of the fleet changed out, and then we'll be able to, start working on the next level of vehicles. So it's going to be good. So appreciate all the help with that and all the work. So, do you have any questions for me?
No?
Thank
All
you,
right.
Sheriff.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Any other? Greg?
Yeah, I'll give you some updates with the East Side building. Obviously, we're right on schedule to have that thing done at the end of July, first part of August. So electrical is in. I was out there. Tim and I were out there walking through, and with Tim's help, we're still on schedule to have that thing done. So I know he's worked hard to get that in before drywall. So drywall will be going on this week. I just talked to Stan. We have a few things to work through prior to them getting that done. So along with that, we're also working with Rossville. We're finishing up with that interlocal agreement to get Rossville on board with Clinton County EMS, which will be the first time since 1970s that would have happened. So we're working out those things, the use of their ambulances, which will give us a huge presence in the area up from Mulberry over to Howard County, to have 2 ambulances available there, BLS, to help us out. So finishing that up, also working with, our 3-year lease is up this year on the ambulances, so that rotation. So I'm working with the lease company and Osage, which is ambulance manufacturer. Of course, we put that order in early, and we're back to November now already. I'm waiting for some parts. The chip that everyone else is waiting for is along with that. So we're working with them to get that finalized. Also working with Kirkland to integrate with them, actually supplying a lot of supplies for the fire department, who is actually helping out with the ambulance service, adding new people in that part of the county. So when the station opens up on the east side, we're looking to bolster the presence of EMS in the Kirkland area to help back that station up. So also working with Forest Fire Department, and they're doing a emergency response non-transport. So they'll send people who can help with EMS, but they just won't transport. They'll wait for the ambulance to get there. So a lot of things going on in that portion of the county, and then helping with the Rossville area. So trying to get the county secured with all of that. So busy time. Runs are up. We're using a lot of Narcan. I think the sheriff and the city police will also agree with. We see a lot of that increasing now, and now we're having multiple patients or multiple returns to addresses. So, and Rodney can tell you too. I think it's never ending for him to get the grants, and I know the city police got a grant for Narcan. So I think that is just an ongoing thing for us as it continues. Our run volume is up this year over 2018, 19, and 2020. We're already looking at an increase halfway through the year. So. It looks,
What percent increase? roughly?
actually, we're seeing about a 10% increase, and we're also seeing some changes, which I'll bring up to the commissioners later. We're also seeing a reimbursement surge, Medicare, Medicaid. We're seeing more of an increase of that, less of self-pay. So we're a little more insurance, more Medicare, Medicaid, and less of the self-pay. So we get into now for exceptions in how Medicare and Medicaid pay for that. So we're trying to open that area up a little bit more with the TREX program and that type of system to help generate a little more revenue. We've also worked with, we've been good neighbors. We've been working with IU Arnett. They are in a they have a ton of issues with getting patients out of the hospital over there. So Clinton County EMS has helped to transfer patients from their facility here to try to open up an area, because we take a lot of patients over there for extended services. So we've tried to help out a little bit, not only do on our own, but help out with them too. I know we did some over the weekend to help them. So that's also reimbursed through IU directly. So yeah, it's not slowing down. It's just busier and busier. So
Is that part of the 10% increase in
it is
rent?
not.
Is the
No.
hospital, it's separate?
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yep.
You'd mentioned Kirkland. Will
Mm-hmm.
that still be a volunteer, or will there be a full-time E EMS?
Yeah, no, it'll be volunteer, and what we're trying to do is that, trying to generate interest there, but the fire departments on both ends of the county, Forest and Kirkland, have taken a big step to get their people certified.
Yeah.
And then EMS, we're supplying their equipment, so they're usually the first responders, and then the ambulance will come in next. So the plan is to keep Kirkland's ambulance in place and Michigantown's ambulance in place for a backup for the ALS ambulance or the medic ambulance. So the more people we can get on those ambulances, the better our response will be prior to medic getting there, and when that medic is out of that area, that we can still have a presence of basic life support to work with them. So, yep, that's all I got, unless you guys have questions.
I'm good.
No.
Okay,
Thank
all
you,
right.
Greg.
Thank you,
Sounds-
Greg.
All right,
sounds
thanks.
Keep up the good work.
good. Any other department heads? Okay, seeing none.
Rodney.
Rodney? Well, I'll go first for Rodney before he starts. The Clinton County Board of Health was recognized as the Frankfurt Times Citizen of the Year, and it was a great honor.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you guys did a wonderful job, continue to do a wonderful job through the pandemic, and here kind of what I would like to call maybe post-pandemic, as we're trying
Yeah.
to get better, but many man-hours put in, and just a lot of hard work and dedication throughout the county, but I think that was a great recognition for you guys and the work that you did, and we appreciate every bit of it.
I know my staff, I'm certainly appreciative of everyone in the community, for my staff especially, for all the work that they put in. Many of the time, the people on the other end of the phone weren't really happy with what we were saying or doing at the time. And so to see that come full circle was both humbling and proudful at the same time. So
Yeah.
certainly, and again, as you say, hopefully getting closer to the end of this. But I wanted to come in, at least report to you gentlemen and folks that we are still working on getting us to the end of that. We did get the trailer, took possession of it last Tuesday evening at 9 p.m.
Great.
with Daryl's help. It is at the EMA offices right now, getting ready to be. We're going to go through a training course with Daryl. Matt Stidham's going to help us. He's been doing the research behind the package beforehand, and he's ready to train our staff on both the use and deployment of it. So we already have plans to do so in July when we go out to the schools, because we are going to offer both normal catch-up vaccinations, because as we all know, a lot of folks' vaccinations got behind, especially school children during last year. So we're catching those up and offering at the same time COVID vaccines to those school-aged children that it's appropriate for at this point. So that item will go into use immediately. So we already are making plans that if indeed there's a booster of some sort that's needed, we have probably 7,000 or 8,000 Clinton County residents who've been vaccinated, and they may indeed then need that next. So we will utilize it for that as well. So, and so we're very glad to have that with the Commissioner and Council's support on getting that here. And it will go into our future plans for any type of response that's needed for public health. So, also at the council meeting last time, I think it was a week or so ago, and I believe you were there, sir. In the meantime, we spoke about having a dinner for all the volunteers that we had used during the vaccine clinics. I think President Dunn was in support of that. I just wanted to get confirmation with you gentlemen that we could maybe seek some support from you guys to help us with pulling that off maybe in the month of July, so.
Yeah, I think so. I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, we had probably 250 volunteers. I don't anticipate they'll all come to a dinner, mainly because we had volunteers from Hamilton, Boone County that came up as well and volunteered their efforts to help keep our clinic running during that time. But with your permission, I'll seek guidance from the council on how much they would like to look at, and then we'll work on doing all the planning for that, so.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
So I was speaking with Mark, and the county did a little bit of a blip, and we did go back to yellow. We've been in blue as far as the county wide guidance goes, and we weren't the only county. We had a few around us, Boone County, and I think Montgomery County also had a blip. We're still testing. We will continue to test. It's still necessary to see where we are in the community, and we are in the process of getting a grant that will continue testing through December. And hopefully, long before that, we'll see an end of any widespread community spread. So, otherwise, any questions that you have otherwise? So.
Is the testing all from people that's not been vaccinated or had one, or do you know?
You know, it's not just that. Believe it or not, if people are traveling or something right now, some airlines and things are still requiring some form of testing as well, because even if you're vaccinated, you're not completely 100% that you're not going to get it, and that if you have it, you're not a carrier. So
Is that why you think it's raising?
Well, yeah, and then of course there's other variants. Now, what I think you and I spoke about a couple of days ago was we went way down in the number of people being tested. So if you get a small spike in, say, cases that are positive of people tested, that doesn't take much to put us from a blue category to a yellow. It's all percentages at this point. So, but right now, numbers tested are somewhere in maybe 50 or so a week, when we were doing 200 and 300 a day back in December. So, you know, we have to look at that number having shrank. But it's still critical. We still have the Delta variant that we need to worry about out there. We still have an age group under 12 that we still need to worry about that we cannot vaccinate currently, that we want to worry about, because the Delta variant is showing that it's more aimed towards afflicting children right now. So, but we will continue to make sure whatever services are needed are there. We still have plenty of vaccine. We'd still like to see more people vaccinated. We're probably at about 40% vaccinated, with fingers crossed. We could certainly go better than that if we could, but we're at that vaccine hesitancy level now where we have a population that we still need to wait. A lot of them are wanting to wait and see still. So,
Yeah.
but we'll be there when they finally make that decision in the meantime. So,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, Rodney. Any other department heads? Okay. We'll go to commissioner reports. Do you have any more?
Nothing to report.
I have a couple things. Let's see, first one, Shan Sheridan and I met with AES Indiana, which is Indianapolis Power and Light. They're who's going to essentially was approved by the IURC this past week to purchase the Hardy Hills Solar Project. So we went to lunch with them last week, had good conversation. And so just kind of an update on that project. It looks like it should get going this summer and be on board around 2023 is what they're anticipating. And so Invergy will see through the development until 2023, or it gets online, and then at that point AES Indiana will take over the solar farm. Other, I guess, positive announcement is the county was able to purchase the former Regions building this past week. I want to thank Tom, many people, but I want to thank Tom for his hard work and especially his patience for what seemed like a process that took a long time. many conversations with the previous owner and getting that deal negotiated and worked out. And so we were able to purchase that for $500,000, which was what we feel like is a good deal. And I will say one thing, as a citizen and a taxpayer, I think I'm really excited that we now have this piece of property that's on the square that is back in county control instead of basically foreign investor hands. So I think that's important for our community as well, to kind of keep things local here. So we're really excited about that. And in previous meetings, we had already hired RQAW to do the architecture and design and just get us an idea. So we'll be kind of feeling that process out over the next couple months and moving forward with it. And then the last thing I have is our HR consultant, Dennis Dunlap. He retired at the beginning of the year. Throughout February and March, we conducted interviews for his replacement. We had 3 highly qualified candidates and ultimately made the decision to hire Mr. Rick Brown as our new HR consultant. He comes to us with 25 years of experience in HR and management. He's worked in many industries in the private sector, and so we're really excited to have him here with us, and he's here today, so I'll actually have him come up if he wants to say any words. We're glad to have you here, Rick, and I'll give you a few moments to say something if you'd like.
Morning.
Morning.
Voice a little raspy. I've been doing a little painting over the weekend, and I'm trying to convince my wife I'm allergic to paint. She's not buying it, so. But anyway, it's been exciting and interesting already, just getting acclimated with county government and some of the uniqueness about it. But HR is HR. I've been doing it for a very long time. It transcends across industries and private and public, so the transition's not much of a transition for me. And this is what I do for a living. I consult with various companies across the country, so the pandemic was definitely a challenge to assist organizations with going remote and dealing with people not wanting to come back to the office and those types of things. So, but it's been interesting. I appreciate the commissioners having faith in me and hiring me, and it'll be a good thing. We'll get some stuff accomplished.
We hope so, and we're glad to have you here, Rick, so thank you.
Thanks.
That's all I have, so we will move on to claims. Let's see. So in the matter of claims, we have claims dated June 11th, 2021 in the amount of $66,626.69. Claims dated June 18th, 2021 in the amount of $7,303.78. Biweekly claims dated June 21st in the amount of $581,779.23. And court claims dated June 21st, 2021 in the amount of $19,646.08. Do I have a motion for those, Mark?
I haven't had a chance to read the first couple, but you said you read them and everything was fine.
Yes, yeah.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve all the claims.
Okay, claims carry 2-0. Next up is we have payroll dated June 4th, 2021 in the amount of $410,690.24.
I'll make a motion to approve payroll.
Second. And lastly, we have minutes from our regular meeting on June 7th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will second that. With no other business, I will adjourn this county commissioner meeting.